12 Indoor Plants You Should Grow This Spring, U.S. Gardener's Guide. Hello earthly souls, and welcome back to Earthly Delights, the home of those who believe that life begins where green things grow. If you've ever paused to admire the curve of a leaf, whispered encouragement to a tiny sprout, or felt a strange kind of peace just by standing near your favorite plant, then you, my friend, are one of us. This video is made for the quiet observers, for the window gardeners, for the working-from-home warriors who long for a touch of the outdoors in their living room. It's for the dreamers, the late-night plant researchers, the repotting on weekends crew. It's for you, someone who knows that taking care of a plant is more than just watering, it's a practice of hope, patience, and growth. And what better season to lean into that practice than spring? Spring isn't just a date on the calendar, it's a shift in energy. It's the sun hanging a little longer in the sky. It's your plants stretching after winter's sleep. It's the perfect moment to refresh, repot, and reconnect, not only with your green companions, but with yourself. In today's video, we're diving into 12 of the best indoor plants to grow this spring, especially for those of you living in the US, where each season brings its own rhythm. These aren't just pretty plants. Each one brings something unique to your space, whether it's cleaner air, a calming scent, a healing touch, or just that quiet company that only nature can give. So grab your favorite warm drink, settle into your favorite cozy corner, and let's explore which plants want to grow with you this spring. And hey, if you're new here, or if you've ever found peace from one of our videos, go ahead and hit subscribe. There's so much more green goodness ahead, and I'd love for you to grow with us. Shall we begin? 1. Pothos, the easy grower. Let's begin our spring planting journey with a true classic. A plant so forgiving, so eager to thrive, that it often becomes a person's very first green companion. I'm talking about the pothos, sometimes called devil's ivy, though its nature is anything but devilish. If you've ever been hesitant about your ability to keep a plant alive, start here. Pothos doesn't ask for much. A bit of light, indirect, is fine. Occasional watering, only when the soil feels dry. And in return, it rewards you with long, trailing vines that seem to grow almost overnight. Every new leaf is like a little celebration. It's fast, it's lush, and it brings a wild energy into any room, a reminder that nature doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It just grows. What makes pothos especially powerful in the springtime is its readiness. It's like that friend who always says yes to a spontaneous road trip. As temperatures rise and the sun peeks in through your windows a little longer each day, pothos responds with enthusiasm. New tendrils reach out, ready to climb, stretch, and cascade. And watching that growth, even just from your kitchen or bedroom, can be deeply motivating. For anyone working from home, or feeling a bit stuck in routine, this plant brings life and movement into your space. It's like a visual breath of fresh air. And the best part? You don't need a green thumb. You just need to begin. And perhaps, that's the real lesson from the pothos. Just begin. Even if you're unsure, even if you've failed before. Growth doesn't require perfection, it only needs care and consistency. Ready to meet your next green companion? Let's keep going. 2. Snake plant, the strong silent type. Now, let's meet the plant that thrives in silence. The one that doesn't beg for attention, yet commands it. If the pothos is your enthusiastic friend who's always on the move, the snake plant is the wise elder who sits quietly in the corner. Calm, strong, and deeply rooted, there's a reason this plant has stood the test of time in homes, offices, bedrooms, and even forgotten corners where most plants would wither. The snake plant, also called Sansevieria or mother-in-law's tongue, is a symbol of resilience. It's for those of you who live busy lives, who forget to water sometimes, or who have tried and failed before and still want to try again. This plant doesn't need daily check-ins. In fact, it thrives on neglect. Low light? No problem. Infrequent watering? It prefers it that way. And yet, it keeps growing, slowly and steadily. It's soared like leaves reaching toward the sky like green sculptures. But here's what makes it truly magical. The snake plant is one of the few houseplants that releases oxygen at night. That's right, while most plants rest in the dark, this one is hard at work, purifying your air while you sleep. For those of you dealing with insomnia, burnout, or anxiety, having a snake plant on your nightstand isn't just decoration, it's support. Quiet, invisible support that asks for nothing in return. There's a certain strength in that, a reminder that not all growth is loud, that sometimes, the most powerful changes happen in the background, while you're healing, resting, or simply surviving. So if your energy this spring isn't bold and vibrant yet, if you're still moving slowly, gently coming back to life, the snake plant is the one that will walk beside you. No pressure, no drama, just presence. And sometimes, that's all we need. Shall we meet our next green companion? 3. Peace lily, the emotional healer. There's a softness we sometimes crave in spring. Not the loud kind of joy, but the gentle, healing kind. Like a warm breeze through an open window or the sound of rain after a long drought. That's exactly the energy the peace lily brings into your home. Just saying its name feels calming, doesn't it? The peace lily isn't here to impress with height or volume. It speaks in stillness, with dark green leaves that catch the light just enough. And those elegant white blooms that look like little flags of truce, not only with your space, but sometimes, with your own inner world. This is the plant for those of you going through something. Maybe you've recently let go of a relationship. Maybe you're starting a new chapter. Or maybe you're simply tired, emotionally, spiritually, deeply. The peace lily doesn't demand your energy. It offers its own. In terms of care, it's refreshingly intuitive. Its leaves will droop dramatically when it's thirsty, almost as if it's speaking to you, saying, I need a little love today. And once you water it, it perks right back up, resilient, forgiving, almost like it's teaching you that it's okay to feel low sometimes. As long as you remember to nourish yourself. It thrives in indirect sunlight and enjoys a bit of humidity, making it perfect for your bathroom or a cozy reading nook near a north-facing window. And beyond beauty, it's one of the top natural air purifiers, helping clear out not just toxins, but the heavy energy that sometimes lingers in our spaces. With a peace lily nearby, your home begins to feel like a sanctuary, a safe place for both plants and people to soften, heal, and bloom again, slowly, but surely. Let's take that peaceful energy with us as we meet the next plant, one that knows a thing or two about survival and strength. 4. ZZ plant, the low-light champion. Every plant tells a story, and the ZZ plant is the one about quiet endurance. If you live in an apartment with limited sunlight, or you've got that one lonely corner that seems to repel life, don't give up on it just yet. The ZZ plant was made for those forgotten places. It thrives in low light, needs minimal care, and still manages to look, well, flawless. Its waxy, deep green leaves reflect the light in the most elegant way, almost like they've been polished by nature herself. It's a plant that brings a touch of luxury, not flashy, but quietly confident. And just like the snake plant, it's known to be nearly indestructible. That's no exaggeration. For the busy souls watching, the ones juggling work, family, goals, and maybe even a little self-doubt, the ZZ plant is your green reminder that survival is still success. You don't need to be blooming all the time. Sometimes, simply standing tall is more than enough. And here's a little secret. In many cultures, the ZZ plant is considered a symbol of prosperity and steady growth. People place it in offices or near entryways as a way to invite abundance, not just in wealth, but in clarity, calm, and direction. Think of it this way. When everything around you feels uncertain, the ZZ plant doesn't flinch. It just keeps going. Quietly, surely, deeply rooted. So if you're someone who's still figuring things out, still building, still navigating, still showing up, this plant belongs in your home. It reflects exactly where you are and quietly encourages you to keep going. And next, we meet a plant that doesn't just grow, it multiplies, shares, and overflows with generosity. 5. Spider plant, the giver. If there's one plant that embodies generosity, it's the spider plant. This charming little green friend doesn't just grow, it shares. It sends out long arching stems that sprout tiny versions of itself, called pups. And before you know it, you don't just have one plant, you have many. Enough to fill your windowsills, to gift to friends, to pass on to new plant lovers like a green legacy. There's something incredibly heartwarming about that, isn't there? The spider plant is perfect for those of you who love the idea of a plant-filled home but don't want anything too complicated. It's easygoing, adaptable, and thrives in bright, indirect light, though it can tolerate lower light too. It enjoys a weekly watering, and in return, it gives you growth, beauty, and the joy of propagation. And let's be honest, there's something magical about watching those baby spiderets dangle from their mother plant. Like stars hanging on a thread, it feels hopeful, alive, like the plant is saying, "Look what I've made, and look what you helped grow." This plant is especially beloved by caregivers, teachers, parents, healers, and nurturers, anyone who naturally gives of themselves and finds joy in watching others thrive. If that sounds like you, then the spider plant is a mirror of your spirit. And here's the best part. Every time you root one of its pups in a new pot, you're reminded of a simple but powerful truth: growth is meant to be shared. Let's carry that energy with us as we explore the next plant, one that brings beauty and healing. Not just to your space, but directly to your skin. 6. Aloe vera, the natural healer. There are some plants that do more than just sit quietly in a pot. They serve, they soothe, they become part of your daily rituals. And aloe vera is one of those sacred companions. At first glance, it may look a little spiky, a little tough, but beneath its firm, fleshy leaves lies a cool, healing gel that has been used for centuries to ease burns, hydrate skin, and calm irritation. It's one of nature's original remedies, and it's been waiting patiently to live on your windowsill. This is the perfect plant for those of you who believe in practical beauty, who love the idea of growing something that gives back. You don't just admire aloe vera, you use it. After a long day in the sun, or when your hands are dry from gardening or typing, you simply snip a leaf and feel instant relief. It becomes a living part of your self-care routine. And caring for aloe vera is, in return, beautifully simple. It thrives on sunlight, lots of it, and prefers to be left alone between waterings. In fact, overwatering is the only real danger here. So if you tend to forget your watering can for a few days or weeks, aloe won't mind. There's something deeply symbolic about this plant. It holds healing inside. Just like many of us. On the surface, it may appear tough, even a bit sharp, but inside, cool calm, relief, restoration. Aloe vera is perfect for kitchens, sunny bathroom windows, or anywhere you want a little green magic that not only looks good, but gives back. So if you're on a healing journey of your own, physically, emotionally, spiritually, this plant will be right there with you. Quiet, strong, full of medicine and meaning. Ready to meet a plant that makes a much louder statement. Bold and proud? Let's keep going. 7. Monstera deliciosa, the bold visionary. Every home needs a showstopper, a piece that makes you stop and look twice. And in the world of indoor plants, few do that better than the Monstera deliciosa. With its iconic, split leaves that look like they've been carefully cut by a master artist. The Monstera doesn't whisper for attention, it speaks boldly, with presence and power. This is not a background plant. It's a vision, a reminder that nature can be dramatic, stylish, and totally alive. If you're someone who thrives on creativity, who's been dreaming of a space that feels like a personal retreat or an artist's den, the Monstera will fit right in. It loves bright, indirect light, appreciates room to stretch, and grows best when given space and consistency. In return, it brings a sense of wildness into even the most structured of homes. Spring is a particularly powerful time to bring a Monstera into your life. As days get warmer and longer, you'll notice its leaves unfurling, sometimes overnight, like it's dancing into its next phase. That movement, that expansion, mirrors what many of us feel deep down during this season: the desire to break free, to grow big, to take up more space in our own lives. And here's something poetic. The name Monstera may sound intimidating, but it actually comes from the Latin word for monstrous, only because of its massive leaves. In truth, this plant teaches us that it's okay to be bold, to take up room, to be seen. For those of you stepping into a new version of yourself this spring, maybe launching something, starting over, or simply ready to stop hiding, the Monstera is a green reflection of that journey. Let's now transition from bold to balanced, from wild energy to deep grounding. Our next plant brings weight, grace, and a sense of stability into your space. 8. Rubber plant, the grounding energy. Now that we've danced in the bold beauty of the Monstera, it's time to come back down to earth, to stillness, to depth, to something solid and reassuring. That's where the rubber plant enters the story. There's a quiet strength to this plant. Its thick, glossy leaves, deep green or rich burgundy, almost feel like leather. They don't flutter or vine, they stand. Tall, steady, strong. If your home needs a sense of anchor, of focus, of peaceful gravity, the rubber plant will bring that energy in. It's perfect for those of you who crave balance. Maybe your days are filled with screens, notifications, fast movement, and overstimulation. The rubber plant doesn't rush. It reminds you to pause, to breathe, to root. This plant thrives in medium to bright indirect light, and it appreciates a regular watering rhythm, not too much, not too little. It's not fussy, but it does expect respect. And when you meet it in that quiet discipline, it rewards you with height, elegance, and a real sense of companionship. There's something deeply symbolic here. You see, the rubber plant is often associated with growth through consistency. Not dramatic change, not sudden leaps, but the kind of growth that comes from showing up, day after day, the kind that builds careers, relationships, and confidence, slowly, solidly. If you're someone who's in a rebuilding season, perhaps recovering from burnout, or re-establishing structure in your life, the rubber plant is your quiet ally. It won't demand too much, but it will reflect your progress, leaf by leaf, inch by inch. And isn't that what so many of us are looking for? A little stability, a little grace, a living reminder that grounded things grow strong. Next up, we meet a plant that isn't just visually stunning, it's alive with movement, personality, and rhythm. Let's go there. 9. Calathea, the living artwork. Some plants don't just grow, they perform. And if you've never seen a houseplant move in rhythm with the sun, allow me to introduce you to the mesmerizing Calathea, also known as the prayer plant. This beauty is alive in a way that feels almost magical. During the day, its leaves spread wide, soaking in the light, but come nightfall, they slowly rise and fold together, as if in silent prayer. And every morning, they open again, ready to begin. This daily ritual gives your space a sense of rhythm, of breath. It's like having a quiet little heartbeat of nature in your home. Calathea is for the detail lovers, the artists, the ones who find beauty in patterns, color, and small moments. Its leaves are often streaked, striped, or brushed with pinks, purples, and silvers, like nature picked up a paintbrush and said, "Let's play." If you're someone who decorates with intention, or who values the emotional tone of a space, this plant won't just fill a corner, it'll inspire it. Now, it does ask for a bit of attention. Calathea like humidity, filtered light, and soft water. They're sensitive, yes, but they're worth every moment. Because when you get it right, they glow. What's beautiful about caring for a Calathea is that it encourages mindfulness. You can't be on autopilot. You have to notice, you have to listen, and that kind of attention, in a world that rushes us forward, is a gift in itself. So if you're looking to reconnect with patience, to fine-tune your sensitivity, or to simply experience a living reminder that beauty and motion can exist in harmony, the Calathea is calling. Now, let's follow that peaceful, mindful energy into our next plant, one that brings not only visual calm, but a fragrance that soothes your entire nervous system. 10. Lavender, indoors, the calming presence. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the scent of lavender. That soft, herbal perfume that seems to slow your breathing, quiet your mind, and wash away whatever tension the day tried to leave behind. Now, imagine not just smelling that calm, but growing it, right there, in your home. Yes, lavender can be grown indoors, and spring is the ideal time to bring it into your space. While it's more often associated with outdoor gardens or fields in Provence, lavender can thrive in a sunny windowsill with proper drainage, patience, and care. It loves light, lots of it, and prefers to stay a little on the dry side. With the right conditions, you'll be rewarded with silvery green foliage and those iconic purple blooms that carry an aroma like no other. But the real magic of lavender isn't just in its looks or scent. It's in its effect. Studies have shown that lavender reduces anxiety, supports better sleep, and creates a more peaceful emotional atmosphere. For those of you who carry stress in your chest, who wake up feeling unrested, or who struggle to disconnect at the end of the day, this plant offers not just beauty, but relief. It's perfect for bedrooms, reading corners, meditation spaces, anywhere you want your nervous system to exhale. And as you care for it, it teaches you something too. That rest is not a luxury. It's essential, and sometimes, the simplest rituals, like watering a plant or rubbing a leaf between your fingers, can be the most healing. Lavender is for the highly sensitive, the overthinkers, the caregivers, those of you who give a lot, and need a soft place to land. So if this spring is your time to slow down, to breathe deeper, and to soften the sharp edges of everyday life, let lavender lead the way. Now, for our next stop, we're heading into the kitchen, with a plant that brings flavor, freshness, and just a little bit of everyday magic. 11. Basil, the culinary companion. Some plants feed your soul, and some feed your dinner. Basil does both. Fragrant, vibrant, and full of life, basil is one of those herbs that brings instant joy, not just to your windowsill, but to your cooking, your mood, and even your sense of connection to the everyday. There's something about pinching off a fresh leaf, rubbing it between your fingers, and tossing it into a simmering sauce or onto a piece of warm bread. It makes you feel more alive, more present. And the good news? Basil is one of the easiest herbs to grow indoors, especially in spring. It loves sunlight, 6 hours or more if you can give it, and thrives in a pot near your kitchen window. It asks for regular watering and, unlike many houseplants, it wants to be harvested often. The more you trim it, the more it grows, fuller, stronger, more flavorful. In that way, basil teaches us something beautiful. Give, and you grow. Use your gifts, share your energy, offer something to the world, and life will give back in kind. For those of you who find comfort in rituals like cooking, who enjoy nurturing others through food or simply crave a more holistic home environment, basil is more than a plant, it's a companion. A small reminder that nourishment doesn't always come from big gestures. Sometimes, it's as simple as a leaf and a moment. And let's not forget its scent, peppery, sweet, invigorating. Just brushing past it while making coffee in the morning can lift your mood. So whether you're growing a mini herb garden or just adding one pot to your windowsill, basil brings something fresh and generous to your everyday life. And now, we've arrived at the 12th and final plant in our spring journey. It's bold, it's dramatic, and yes, it might just challenge you. But isn't that what growth is all about? 12. Fiddle leaf fig, the challenge worth taking. Some plants are easy companions. They ask for little, give a lot, and flow right into your life. But then, there's the fiddle leaf fig. Tall, striking, and unapologetically dramatic. This is the plant that makes a room feel alive. With its oversized, violin-shaped leaves and sculptural presence, the fiddle leaf fig is a statement. It's not just decor, it's a personality. But let's be honest, this plant can be a little picky. It craves consistency, in light, in watering, in placement. Move it too often, and it sulks. Overwater it, and it lets you know. Neglect it, and its leaves may brown or drop without warning. And yet, it remains one of the most beloved and sought-after indoor plants in the world. Why? Because when it's happy, when you find that sweet spot of care and attention, the fiddle leaf fig becomes a living sculpture. It rewards your patience with lush, glossy growth, standing tall like a green pillar of pride in your space. It teaches discipline. It challenges your awareness, and it shows you, in real time, how effort and consistency create beauty. This plant is for those of you who are ready to step up, who've tried the easy plants and are now craving something deeper, more interactive, more responsive. It's for people who see houseplants not just as accessories, but as relationships, as reflections of their own growth journey. The fiddle leaf fig isn't here to impress you right away. It's here to invite you into a deeper level of presence, to challenge your habits, to teach you responsiveness, and to remind you that the most rewarding things in life often ask the most of us. So if this spring marks a shift for you, if you're stepping into a season of maturity, of long-term goals, of showing up even when it's not easy, the fiddle leaf fig may be your green mirror. Grow with the season. And there you have it, 12 living companions, each with its own story, its own energy, and its own quiet wisdom. Some are soft and healing, like lavender and peace lilies. Others are bold and ambitious, like the Monstera or the Fiddle leaf fig. And some, like the humble Pothos or spider plant, are here to simply remind you, growth doesn't have to be complicated, it just has to begin. You see, spring is more than just a shift in weather, it's a shift in us. It's a whisper from the earth that says, you made it through, now, it's time to grow. And whether you're starting small with a basil sprout on your windowsill, or transforming your entire home into a green sanctuary, every leaf you nurture becomes a reflection of something deeper: patience, care, hope. So let this be more than a list of plants. Let it be your invitation to reconnect with nature, to reawaken your space, and maybe even to rediscover parts of yourself that were waiting quietly all winter long. Here at Earthly Delights, we believe that tending to plants is also a way of tending to the soul. That every watering is a small act of love. That every new leaf is a reminder, you're doing better than you think. If this video planted something in you, a new idea, a bit of calm, or simply the joy of growing again, don't forget to subscribe and join our growing community of green-hearted souls. Leave us a comment. Which plant spoke to you the most? Which one are you bringing home this spring? And remember, no matter where you are on your journey, you, just like your plants, are already growing beautifully. Until next time, stay rooted and stay radiant.